Hi folks, welcome to Trigger Effect TV. This week's episode is very special to me. Dean and I are going to be hunting right here in southern Manitoba for white-tailed deer right here at my home farm. Now this episode has been a long time coming. As many of you may know, about 5 years ago our Manitoba whitetail took a drastic decline in numbers. But with immediate regulation changes and proper management, our numbers are rebounding nicely. So let's go now and see just how our fall hunt here in southern Manitoba played out for Dean and myself. I'm sure you're going to enjoy this. Archery season. The weather's pretty nice. There's hardly any wind, a bit of a southwest wind tonight. Perfect for this stand. It's been pretty quiet, pretty calm. I haven't seen any big bucks out in the open in the daylight hours, but with it getting later in the season, the daylight hours are dropping quite rapidly, and it's gonna trigger those bucks to start looking for the ladies. So there's lots of does around here. So hopefully tonight we'll get a buck out in the open and we can get one of these OCD blood therapy broadheads through them. So. That was really close. That buck came out about 10 yards below me. He was pretty much on edge. When I shifted my weight, I made a little bit of a sound. He heard that. He walked right back into the timber. He stood back here for about 5-10 minutes. And he's just worked his way out to the edge over here again, so he's probably gonna come back out a further distance.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Regent Custom Cresting. Trigger Effect. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Trigger Effect.
I have to pick Dean up at the airport today. Thought I'd get one more solo hunt in before Dean arrived. Haven't seen any deer yet, but it's just gotten light enough to see the meadows below me here, so we've got a storm system coming in today. It's supposed to be dumping some snow on us, so it's definitely a lot colder this morning than it has been for the last few days, so maybe that'll get the deer moving. Here comes a buck. Here comes a buck.
Conservation Connection is brought to you by Lethbridge College.
This week we're joined with Richard Quinlan, one of the professors here at Lethbridge College. In 2010, the winter of 2010, we had a massive die-off of white-tailed deer in Manitoba. Richard, can you give us a little background on how that happens?
Yeah, Ken, at that time I was a wildlife biologist here in Alberta, and we had the same thing happen. We had a real severe winter, 2010, 2011. I also know that there were a couple of very severe winters across the prairies after that in Saskatchewan and Manitoba, which would have affected your population. And there's a lot of things that can influence a deer population level: the habitat quality, the level of predators, level of access for hunters, level of disturbance. But the real big one is the weather. And if we get a severe winter where we've got half a meter of snow and temperatures down to -17, -18, and that lasts a few weeks, the deer go into negative energy debt. If that lasts 6 or 7 weeks, we have deer starting to die. We have does in early part of term can reabsorb their fetus. Later in term, they will abort their fetus, and so we'll have low productivity the following year. So basically what's happening is they're exerting more energy to move through the snow, to paw through the snow, and the energy they're bringing in later in the winter is of poor quality. The good news is that white-tailed deer have great capacity to rebound. They can be bred in their first year. They can produce young at year 1. They will have twins, triplets, sometimes quadruplets, and they can recover in a couple of years with good management.
Well, that's good news. I mean, I've noticed a change in Manitoba. The last couple of winters were mild, and our numbers are starting to increase. So let's get back to the action, see if we can't get us a whitetail buck.
I've been hunting that buck probably for 3 years now. I'm pretty sure that's the Big 10. He's a beautiful 5x5. He's got the start of a little drop time. Oh man. Well, this is right about the spot where I shot at him. He was right down in this matted down grass. Oh, let's see here. Oh yeah, I hit him hard. There is a trail of blood. I couldn't be happier. You know, one of the things I love about this whitetail hunting here in Manitoba is they're not easy. I mean, you got to do your homework. You got to use scouting cameras. I like to use the covert scouting cameras. They're absolutely fantastic for capturing all the pictures pre-season and during the season. I've got plenty of pictures of this guy. This buck and I have some history. He lives probably not 500 yards from my house, and I've been after him for 3 years. Oh boy. Well, at least seriously for the last 2. And it's been a struggle this year. I had him within 18 yards during bow season, and I just couldn't, there was not enough light to film, so I had to pass on him, and he kept me in my tree stand till an hour after it had gotten dark because he just stood there. But I had him within 20 yards during bow season, so. But he is a giant.
Make sure you come back for some more hunting action with Trigger Effect after this commercial break. Welcome back to Trigger Effect.
Here we are, my first time to sit in a blind and hunt. Congratulations, buddy, on that 10. That was a beautiful buck.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a real good one. We missed a day of hunting yesterday. Our first huge winter storm came in. High winds, like 90-kilometer-an-hour winds. Nothing was moving. Everything was shut down. So we regrouped and went out and checked some trail cameras. We're at a spot here that I set up for the first week. It's in a really nice cove. We still got high winds today, but we've already got deer coming out, so.
Yeah, we were walking into the field and we had to bump a doe, and then within 10 minutes of us being set up, we got 2 more does working their way towards us. But this all-tamp line is really concealing us well. I'm excited, especially after seeing your buck. I've got a little bit of...
Yeah, there's lots of buck tracks around. The scrapes are all getting refreshed. They're digging out the snow. So I think we're going to be in for a good evening sit here. So let's do this, buddy.
Let's do it.
Well, Dean, what do you think of that?
That was an amazing evening. I mean, talk about up close and personal.
Yeah, I figured when we, where this blind is set up, we've got a really, really strong northwest wind. I said, you know, the wind's so strong in the last couple of days, those deer are going to come out and they're going to tuck tight to the oaks and feed along the edge of the field. And they certainly did that.
Oh, they did. I mean, we had them, come in
12
at about
yards.
100 yards, and then they're like 12 yards away from us.
Tips and techniques are brought to you by Resourceful Redneck, featuring Mike Holland.
Hi there, my name's Mike and I'm the Resourceful Redneck. Thanks for joining us for this week's Tips and Techniques segment. Today's episode has the guys on an exciting whitetail deer hunt. Now when you hunt deer, either from a blind or from a tree stand, it's very important for you to have clean and clear shooting lanes. Small saws get the job done well. Now make sure that you choose one that's light and very portable. If you do that, that'll give you more time in your stand. And that's going to give you the edge when you're hunting the trophy of a lifetime. Well, that's this week's segment. Stop by our website for some more information. Now let's get back to the hunt.
Well, it's first thing on Saturday morning. Second week of whitetail here in Manitoba. It's just getting light enough to film. We still got to fill Dean's tag. We saw a really nice buck last night when we were coming back from visiting some friends at their cabin. He was chasing does. He was chasing does just up in the field above us here, so we're hoping that he brought his girls down into the valley here last night. And yeah, looks like a beautiful morning. It's dead calm.
Yeah, it's cold, but it's clear skies, and we've seen some deer move on the other side of the river. But it looks like it's going to be a good moving. I mean, there's not even a breeze.
Yeah, it's dead quiet, so we'll get the camera spun back around and get ready for some great action, hopefully. So let's do this, buddy.
Yeah, we'll cross our fingers.
Well, that coyote's going back in the trees. Hopefully he'll put something out to us.
Oh, Ken, there's a buck right here.
Yeah,
It's a big buck, too.
yep. He's down, buddy.
That happened so quick. We were watching a coyote working his way over to the right, and Gail was talking about it. I looked to the left, and right down below, there's this buck walking out. So I lined up on him, and it felt like when I was on the sticks that I slipped a bit, but Kent got to see the shot better than me, and he says that he thinks he's down. So I think I just got my Manitoba buck.
Yeah, I didn't see him come out, so I think he's down. Congratulations, buddy.
Thanks, bud. Holy, that was fast.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for more Trigger Effect after this commercial break. Welcome back to Trigger Effect.
Hit him just on the other side of that tree, and he ran over and went over the bank, so you didn't see him come up.
Well, we're out of the blind. We're fairly confident that buck is just over the hill here, but I'm really excited. I mean,
Yeah, it's been a tough whitetail season for all of us this year, but that was a great shot, Dean. I'm pretty sure he only went 50 yards, and he's just over the bank. He showed up right underneath us, come out of this oak coulee to our left, and yeah, it's makes the heart pump pretty quick, doesn't it?
it does. It happened really fast, and I do want to put a thanks to you though, Kent, because Kent's done a lot of work with the covert cameras to really nail down these bucks. He's fairly confident he actually has this buck on the coverts, you know, and again, that all-time blind, you know, bush lodge. I mean, they had no idea we were here.
No, not at all. I mean, we were watching that coyote go across the valley bottom. I just finished saying, I hope he bumps a deer out for us. And the coyote didn't. The buck actually snuck out around behind us here, but he was just cruising down into the river bottom there and had no idea we were 100 yards from him. So
Yeah.
that's awesome. Let's go down and see if we can
I know, I'm excited.
get
Let's
our
go see
hands on
this
this guy.
buck. I would say that buck is down just over here. I'm excited. Wow. So, okay, this is funny. So the buck's right here. We found him. And literally, if you were to draw a straight line from Kent's Big 10 to this buck, I bet you just what, bud, 75 yards?
Yeah, the tracks over my shoulder, those are the quad tracks from when I went to retrieve my buck that I shot a few days ago. Yeah, that's
It can't be any more.
60 yards. So the two bucks that we got for this season dropped within 60 yards of each other a couple days apart. So,
Oh,
yeah.
dude, the anticipation's killing me.
You want to get hands on that, don't you?
I do.
Okay, let's go get him.
Oh, this is great. Look at this buck. Oh, I couldn't be happier. Wow. Well, here we go. This is my 2015 Manitoba whitetail. Kent's put a lot of work in with the covert cameras in casing these bucks out. We ended up ranging it, and from our Old Town Bush Lodge to where I shot the buck, it was just over 100 yards. The Nikon scope worked perfectly. I couldn't be happier. It's been a bit of a drought for me. I know my family's going to be looking forward to having some good table fare as a result of this big buck. But we're going to get this thing up to the shop and get it all cleaned out. I got to tag it here right now too as well, but I couldn't be happier, and I really want to thank you, Kent. That's awesome, bud. I'm a very happy man right now. What a beautiful deer. Well, folks, that's the conclusion to our 2015 Manitoba whitetail hunt, and what an episode. You know, thanks to the hard work of Kent and all the pre-scouting work that was done, but I mean, we harvested two amazing whitetail bucks.
Yeah, we sure did. It's really nice to see our deer numbers coming back after a few years of really being low numbers. We're going to be doing this episode every year now that the numbers are starting to come back. And here at Trigger Effect, we'd really like to thank all our viewers and all our sponsors that take part in this show. And we'll see you next week for another exciting episode of Trigger Effect.
You betcha.
Go to www.cwtf.ca and click on their membership tab now. This has been a Thunder Boys production.